Hello again, people. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of New Mexico. We've got a new property today that is, as you can see from the headline, close to a lake, ergo I'm excited. It also has many other nice features, which we will discuss in this video. So let's get to it, guys. This is reference number MKNM1460, located in McKinley County in the northwest part of the state. This is 5 acres in the Bluewater Lake subdivision, and these 5 acres are priced, as always, affordably at $14,000. So let's scroll back down to where I just was. You've got GPS coordinates here. Click on any one of these and it's going to bring the property up on the Google Maps. So you can the property sits right here off of South Pine Canyon Road. You can kind of make out the shape of this 5-acre property here. It's got fencing all along the southern border from the neighbor who owns this land. And then from power pole right here to power pole right here is the eastern boundary of the property. Northern boundary, of course, is right here, and this is the western boundary. If you go to the Google Map view, you will see that the plat overlay is not here. That being said, if you come back to our listing page, go down to the photo gallery, you will see one of our handy Google Earth overlays we have done to give you a sense of the exact size, shape, and location of the lot. It was a little hard to rustle up a plat map this time from the county. That being said, if we had one on this page, it would look very similar to this image right here, so FYI. Anyway, back to this thing. All right, guys, let's talk about where this is in the grand scheme of the world. So South Pine Canyon Road connects right here to Bluewater Road, the 612. And the 612, if we pull back just a little bit further, you'll see is just a quick drive up into nearby Thoreau. How quick? Let's measure distance. Shakes out to roughly about 6 miles, so let's say it's a 10-minute drive along this, I'm sure, picturesque country road. Up here into Thoreau. Of course, if you need access to supplies, groceries, things like that, Thoreau is probably going to be a good town for minor things. They got a Family Dollar there. They got a grocery store, etc., as well as some churches, schools, things like that. That being said, bigger supply runs are probably going to be here along the I-40 into either. Hang on, guys. Gallup in the west or Grants in the east. They are pretty much equidistant from this property. Both are about 35 miles, 40-minute drive, something like that. You should know that there are super Walmarts in both Grants as well as Gallup, but Gallup is the one that boasts a Home Depot. Grants does not. So if you're building out there, you need lumber, you need construction materials. Perhaps you're going to Gallup, or perhaps there's some store I'm unaware of in Grants. Who knows? Anyway, point being, you've got easy access here along the I-40, so it's going to be a quick drive into either one of them. Blah, blah, blah. Additionally, as you can see, the property sits right here on the edge of the thousands and thousands of acres that make up the Cibola National Forest. So if you are a hunter, you're going to have easy access from the property here through these sort of Forest Service roads out here into these areas where, of course, you can camp, you can hike, and you can hunt. The indigenous species out here that people like to hunt for most, I believe, are the mule deer, elk, wild turkey, and bear. I believe those are popular animals to hunt in this region, etc. And of course, let's not bury the headline. This property sits only 3 miles from Bluewater Lake, State Park Bluewater Lake. And I'm going to do a little measure distance here, just kind of back that up. 2.84, roughly 3 miles to the Bluewater Lake. Bluewater Lake State Park, by the way, has a website where you can learn more about all this. We have it linked here on the listing page. One of the things that they note here on this page is that they have some of the best tiger muskie fishing in, I don't know, the country. So if you're in the dark like I am about what the tiger muskie fish looks like, I have, for the purposes of this video, Googled it, and we've done a little Google image search here. This is what the tiger muskie fish looks like. As you can see, this is a hideous looking fish, a disgusting beast of a fish. It's huge, it's got spiky teeth, and if you catch one of these, I guess you can mount it on your walls or use it to scare the neighborhood children. I don't know, but it's truly a hideous creature. Anyway, but they got a lot of them out there in the lake. So if you like, fishing for these sorts of things, there you go. Anyway, clearly I'm not a fisherman. All right, back to the map here. So property sits within 3 miles of that. And let me actually bring this up here on the images here, show you some images here of the lake so you can see what this looks like. When our photographer was out there, it was not an incredibly active day, not a busy day, but if it were, let me tell you, you'd see boats, you'd see people camping and having picnics and whatnot. Certainly you can do that. They have these fire pits laid out throughout this region, etc. So if you own a boat, this is going to be a nice place to relax, nice place to go fishing, etc. And then, of course, as we go through this, we will come to photos of the property There we go. Photos of the property. All right. So let's talk about this. Let me find a better one that I can use here. All right. So the property is this piece of land right here. This is the neighbor's property that I was showing you in the video. So pretty much all this land that you see right here is the subject property. This is another view of it right here. That is the property right there. So that's 5 acres. As you can see from the photos, first of all, you've got nice road access here into the property, fairly well-maintained roads. This is one of the neighbors, and then as you can see, there's power really at all the adjacent properties. Now, power is not, let me reiterate, not along South Pine Canyon Road. That being said, as I pointed out here earlier, there's power at the lot line of this property, servicing the neighboring property owner's house structure, whatever that is exactly. Additionally, there's power on this property, power obviously nearby here, etc., etc. So none running along this side of the road, but backing up on the east end of the property, there is power. Blah blah blah. And as we go through these, you will see that this is the fencing along the southern end, the sort of barbed wire fencing that kind of shows you where your property starts, at least on the south. And as you can see, photos of the land. This is some nice, flat, buildable land. It's got some nice vegetation on it, but overall, this is not too rocky, not too hilly, not too steep. Should be an easy place to build on, relatively speaking. Now, as we go through this, what you're going to see is that there's a bit of a makeshift structure on this property that I want to address. Here it is. So we buy these properties as is, we sell them as is. This was something that the previous owner had constructed apparently years ago, and then I don't know what happened. This is still out there on the land. Anybody who buys this property is going to, well, there are people who do what I do who are going to tell you, hey, you get a free, you know, whatever this thing is. That being said, I'm going to tell you that, you know, as I said, we buy them as is, we sell them as is, so this comes with the deal. So you can keep it for yourself, you can use it for scrap metal, you can sell it, you can whatever, you know, but the point is that comes with the property. And if you're saying to yourself, hey, Hemingway land, why don't you get this junk cleared up? Well, here's the thing, people. This is the advantage, okay? If you dig all this up and you find that there's buried treasure out there, we're not going to lay claim to it. We buy them as is, we sell them as is, so anything that's on the property, whether it's, you know, good or bad, it becomes yours. That being said, this does not look like a heck of a lot of junk to get removed. I'm sure there's probably a local, you know, scrap dealer out there who will come and retrieve all this from the yard. Blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, you could use it for yourself, as I said. I don't know. Anyway, but as you can see, this is a pretty picturesque region. As noted, nice flat buildable land. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let's talk about zoning out here. Oh, yes, zoning. All right, so McKinley County, as noted here in the table, has no formal zoning designation for property in their region. Typically what they do is they defer to homeowners associations, property owners associations, whatever covenants and restrictions come with the land, they sort of defer to those. So if there's covenants or restrictions with this property, they would be the, you know, the guiding force of what can and cannot be built or parked or whatever on the land. We address this here in the table, however, that there are no covenants and restrictions with this property. So there's no zoning designation within the county, and there's no covenants or restrictions for land in Bluewater acres. Now, this tells me that you could probably do whatever you want. So if you're one of these people who wants to build a quote-unquote unconventional structure, let me go back to the photo gallery so I'm not just looking at nothing here. If you're one of these people who wants to build an unconventional structure of sorts, a tiny home, a shipping container home, my guess is as long as it's up to code, New Mexico code, building codes, you're going to be able to do that. That being said, this is something you'll probably want to investigate on your own. You know, what we have found is that, as noted, there's no zoning, there's no covenants, blah, blah, blah. So you can probably do these things that you can't do in other parts of New Mexico. One quick thing I will show you here is if we go to the map, and so this is Bluewater acres, and this is Bluewater acres. And if we kind of zoom in here, oh, by the way, nearby volunteer fire department. We zoom in here on the map, and you kind of drive the region, and you see what's out here as far as, I mean, so you look at these things and you know, okay, mobile home with, you know, cement foundation or not, it could be out here. But additionally, if we kind of zoom through this area, what you're going to see are there are some RVs, some mobile homes parked out here, cars parked indiscriminately. etc. This all suggests to me that my assertion about there being no zoning and nobody cares if you want to do something like a tiny home, that's probably correct. Because again, if you look at this, if you really drive this road and study what's out here, this doesn't look like the type of place where they have some sort of standard for aesthetic uniformity, we will call it, etc. So that's something if you want to call the county and you want to investigate that further. Good luck getting somebody on the phone out there. I think they're going to tell you what they tell us every time we call, which is, you know, we have no formal zoning designations for these properties. But I'd start with the McKinley County assessors and start talking to them and say, I'm looking to buy some property in Bluewater, you know, Bluewater Lake, Bluewater Acres. What can you tell me about zoning? And you'll probably hear what they tell us. Anywho, by the by, in regards to further research, guys, if you are looking at this property and this is something where you want to figure out what it's going to take to get power hooked up on the land, we have some helpful links down here. Continental Divide Electric Co-op, which services this region, the New Mexico Gas Company, and of course the New Mexico State Engineer. Click any one of these links. It's going to take you to their respective websites. Office of the State Engineer are the people who deal with wells, well rights, getting permits for this sort of thing. Obviously, it's good to talk to local vendors out there. Just ask them about water table depth in the region, what it costs to drill out there, you know, X amount per foot, so on and so forth. How deep, how shallow is that table? That being said, when you see this many homes in a region, it's usually a good sign that, in fact, the water table is fairly accessible. Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, guys, all right, so when it comes to purchasing this property, how do we do that? Well, first off, a couple things. So we closed on this with Four Corners Title. We have title insurance on this land. So what we recommend is you come up here, you click the Buy Now button. It's going to take you to this secure checkout page. We're asking for $500 down. This is not an installment sale. We're looking for $14,000 total, but we don't anticipate most people either want to pay all that through a website or have the capacity to do it on one credit card. So you give us $500, you fill out this form. On the next page, you enter your credit card information, and then we will be in touch with you mucho pronto, toot sweet, to determine how exactly you want to close on this. We recommend title escrow for a property in this price range. And we have a page here on our website, the Buying From Us page, which you can read about exactly how that process works. Basically, what we're doing is we're going to draft a sale purchase agreement. Click this link. You can see what that looks like. Very simple, one-page contract, one-page signatures. We sign it, you sign it, demonstrate intent to the title company. We'll submit it back to Four Corners Title, and they will do the rest. And the advantages here for you, the buyer, are twofold. Number one is that you do not have to, essentially the property is not deeded into your name until such a time. Let me start that over. We cannot touch your money until the property has been deeded into your name, number one. Number two, the title company is going to give you a clean and marketable title. They're going to insure it. So if you do want to build out here, you want to get a loan from a local bank, local lender, what have you, you're going to be able to do that. They will usually want to see that there is, quote, clean and marketable title. Anyway, so we submit the contract to the title company. Usually within about 30 days, they'll get this done. They'll do it slowly, but they'll get it done. And then they will request the remainder of the funds, the $13,500, from you at close of escrow. Once again, we cannot touch your money until such a time as the property has been deeded into your name. But all of that begins, of course, by putting down the $500 deposit. So fill out this form on the next page, credit card information, and then we will begin to have a conversation with you about how to move forward with this. Anyway, thank you very much, guys, for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment here on the YouTube. Shoot us an email, support@hemingwayland.com, or give us a call, 702-919-7170. Talk to the disembodied voice in person. All right, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.